Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling Palantir technologies. You've likely heard the buzz they seem to be making, real waves in AI-driven data analytics.
Definitely.
We've got a company snapshot here, hoping it helps us, cut through some of the noise.
Sounds good. So fundamentally, Palantir provides these software platforms, right? You've got Gotham, often for government and intelligence work.
Right.
Then Foundry, more focused on integrating complex business data. And their newest one, AIP, which is all about leveraging AI, specifically large language models.
Okay.
And these tools, they basically let governments, big companies, analyze just massive data sets. The goal is faster, smarter decisions, could be national security, could be smoothing out a supply chain.
Got it. So just to get our bearings, founded back in 2003, they're based in Denver now, and trade on NASDAQ, ticker's PLTR.
Yep.
And the market cap currently, it's sitting around about $150 billion. That's as of May 2025. Seems pretty significant.
It really is. And what's really grabbing headlines lately is their stock performance. Over the last 6 months, the price has jumped dramatically. We're talking 100, maybe 150% gain.
Wow.
And that includes a really striking 67% jump in April 2025 alone.
67% in 1 month. Okay, so what's behind that? I see here their Q1 2025 earnings were clearly, a big driver.
Huge.
They reported 39% year-over-year revenue growth overall, but the U.S. commercial revenue, it just exploded, didn't it? Up 71%.
That number really stood out, 71%. And on top of that, they raised their forecast for the whole year, 2025.
Right. They bumped the revenue growth guidance up to 36%, which I gather was quite a bit higher than analysts were expecting.
Exactly. And you also have to remember, maybe a slightly smaller factor, but still important, they got added to the NASDAQ 100 back in December 2024.
Ah, okay. So that increases visibility. More institutional investors potentially looking at it.
Precisely. Puts them on more radars, so to speak.
So connecting the dots, why all this excitement now? I mean, the AI boom has to be part of it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Palantir's AIP platform, the one integrating large language models, it positions them as, well, a potentially key partner for businesses wanting to adopt AI.
And that's translating into customers.
Seems like it. Their client base grew by almost 40% in just 1 quarter of 2024 Q3.
That's fast growth. And they still have those deep government ties, right? Long-term deals with the U.S. Department of Defense and others.
That's a core part of their business. Provides a really stable revenue stream, kind of a foundation.
But they're pushing hard on the commercial side, too.
Very much so. They've successfully expanded into sectors like healthcare, energy, manufacturing. And you see it in the deal sizes, too. The number of deals worth over $1 million. That was up significantly, around 30% in Q3 24. Shows they're gaining traction with bigger commercial clients.
Okay, let's look at the financials a bit closer. That Q1 2025 revenue number, again, $725.5 million. Impressive growth.
It is, but then you look at the valuation.
Yeah, the price-to-sales ratio is high, around 70 times sales.
Right. And just for context for you listening, the industry average is like closer to 10. So 70x indicates the market has baked in massive growth expectations.
So profitability, has that been consistent?
Historically, it's been a bit up and down, but recent quarters are showing definite signs of improvement, moving towards more consistent profitability.
Okay. But that high valuation, that's clearly a risk people need to consider.
It's probably the main one. That PS ratio and their forward price to earnings is also, well, let's just say it's quite elevated. Even compared to other high-growth tech names like, say, NVIDIA, it's up there, around 190x forward PE.
And competition. They're not the only ones playing in this data analytics and AI space.
Not at all. You've got competitors like C3.ai, Snowflake, among others. Plus, there's always the possibility that large companies decide to build their own solutions in-house rather than buying from Palantir.
Makes sense. What about market sentiment? Seems like there's a lot of buzz, especially from retail investors. I see them mentioned a lot on platforms like X.
There is significant retail interest, yeah, which, can drive momentum in the stock price, but it can also lead to higher volatility, more potential for sharp swings up or down based on sentiment rather than just fundamentals.
Okay, so wrapping this up, Palantir is definitely seeing major growth. It's driven by that AI platform, AIP, their solid government contracts, and this real push into the commercial world.
Check, check, and check. But, and it's a big but, that extremely high valuation is hovering over everything. It's a significant risk factor to keep front of mind.
Absolutely. So the core question for you, the listener, really boils down to this. Is Palantir truly on a path to becoming, a dominant force in AI, making its current valuation look reasonable in hindsight.
Or is some of the current hype maybe getting ahead of itself, potentially unsustainable long term?
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Consider how Palantir operates in both the government and commercial sectors. How might the needs, the data, the insights from, say, a defense contract potentially influence or benefit their strategy when they're talking to a manufacturing company?
Yeah, that interplay is quite unique. It's definitely a fascinating dynamic to watch.
Indeed. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.